played the intro.
If there's a question of my heart, you've got it. It don't belong to anyone but you. If there's a question of my love, you got it. Baby, I've been making plans for you. Baby, I've been making plans for love. Oh, baby, I've been making plans for you lately, 'cause I've been making plans for love. Oh, baby, I've been making plans for you. If there's a question in my heart, you got it. It don't belong to anyone else but you. Boom, boom, boom.
Good night, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Peaches and Dream podcast on this lovely Sunday evening, night, whatever you'd like to call it. It's June the 8th.
Oh, it's nighttime now.
Yes, it
And
is.
nighttime is the right time.
Listen,
It
it's
is
Sunday
officially
night.
summer break for these
Some of the
little
kids, well,
piglets.
my kids don't go to CMS school, so my kids in shorter school. I think CMS gets out like Tuesday officially.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot to
your kids
mention
go to
that.
a charter school?
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
for the record, everybody, private charter schools is not better than public school. Like, I feel like honestly, the people in the kids in those schools are a little more misbehaved, and it's because a lot of times their parents work there. A lot of the students got relatives that work there, most of them. Um, but yeah,
In a
anywho,
charter school?
yeah, like the charter school is different. Like I really feel like they're a little bit more like behavior wise. Because they be talking about something, they be getting caught with vapes. Mind you, this is in middle school. You getting
Mm-hmm.
caught with vapes in middle school. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's a popular thing at the public schools too, because I don't know what's going on in public school, right? Middle school, because I don't got no kids that go there. My niece even goes to the same school my kids goes to, so but yeah, anyways, the kids will be officially, some started already. CMS, which is our main public school system, I think their last day is Tuesday.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I think the official first day of summer isn't until like what, June 20th or somewhere around there. So yeah, but it's about to get warm. Y'all ready for the heat? Because
Yeah,
it's coming.
uh,
It is coming.
when I get a little sweat up under my boob, yeah, it's summer. It's summer. Oh, a little titty sweat will let you know that it's summertime.
Ooh,
All
girl.
right. All right. So let's go over the topics. We have Miss Shirley first, and then DDG and Haley Bailey.
No, I
Hallie.
can't. I don't know
I'm
why they
sorry,
did
it's
that to that
Hallie.
girl. It's too much like Halle Berry. I don't even know.
It's the same as Halle Berry. Um, Brian
It's the
McKnight's
same
son,
as
huh?
what?
Say that again.
Yeah. You said it's the same as what?
Halle Berry.
It's too similar. So when we be talking about her, we get
It's just
it.
her last name is Bailey. She just has a different last name.
So what is the actor? What is the actor name?
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry, and her
Berry
name
and
is
Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
This is a tongue twister for Dream, y'all. You're gonna have to give her a little grace.
Yes. Wait till y'all find out I don't know who Miss Shirley is.
Yeah, let's get into the chat because I didn't know who Miss Shirley was neither. Because when I ran across the videos, I would just swipe up, left, or whatever, because that damn song was getting on my nerves. Girl, they drug the hell out of that boots on the ground song.
So who's Miss Shirley though, for
So yeah, you know
real?
what? Yeah, I got a video for everything. So let's get to the
While you're
shit.
looking for the video, the last one of the things Peaches was saying before I cut her off, and I didn't want to be rude or anything, but we was also going to touch base in regards to Bryant McKnight's son passing away, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think that was one of the, and then we also going to talk about this Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Did I get that right?
Elon Muskie.
Drama, a little beef they got going on. And I
Yeah,
think that's
apparently
pretty
they
much
broke up.
everything. They
Huh?
broke up. You said apparently they broke up.
Oh, Brittany Renner. Yeah, I got some stuff on Brittany Renner too.
Oh, you know what's so crazy? I was rooting for them because I seen the way she used to be smiling
What?
from ear to ear. I'm like, she's smiling from ear to ear because he be hitting it from the back, love.
Yeah, but Kevin Gates,
Kevin Gates nasty.
he's one of those weirdos. Yeah, he is. He's
Selling
nasty.
his music, like,
He's a fucking weirdo. Talking about semen retention. I guess when he's having intercourse, he does not allow himself to ejaculate, and I guess that something with that girl, something some crazy
it's
shit that I
because
don't know
pretty
about.
much it's not really a bad thing, honestly. You really gotta study it. But that's basically teaching like how much control they have. I didn't know all of that though. As much as I like his music, I don't really follow him up too much, but I just kept seeing him and that Britney girl. And then it's crazy because yeah, they got married and they was divorced. They got divorced on my son's birthday, May 28th.
Are you
But they
serious?
wasn't even married for 90 days. Yeah, she had put out something about that. But yeah.
Okay, let me go
But
ahead and
yo, the way Kevin be talking in his songs, I'm like, listen, if he's like that for real in the bedroom, which I think he is, um, let's see why the girls be loving him some Kevin. He nasty. He nasty.
nasty. Girl, the only thing I heard was the two phones and the dick on your stomach. That's
Oh,
all I heard.
listen, that man, his music is a whole vibe though, but you gotta be like, mhm. But yeah,
I'm
his
good.
music. Some of
I'm
his songs I really get jiggy with it. Makes me feel a little
Did you say
nasty.
get jiggy with it? Yeah, I saw you getting jiggy with it. What's going on with you posting booty shaking videos
I'm
on your
always
stories?
I'm always shaking my booty.
You
I just don't
jiggling. You
show my
jiggling all over
booty.
the place.
You know, it's funny because this guy, because I had went to a party with him, he was like, yo, her butt makes waves. I was like, yes,
Wow.
like the ocean, baby.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but that song, honestly, that'd be my workouts for real, for real. A lot of booty shaking. And it's a lot of people that don't like, we're gonna talk about that real quick for like 30 seconds. But yeah, there's
What?
a lot of
Booty
people
shaking?
that don't that yes, as far as booty shaking literally being a workout, and a lot of people don't really want to make it to the gym. Put some music on and twerk till you get dizzy. What you mean? But yes, because honestly, I'm really like at a point where I work out. Like I try to work out a minimum of 30 minutes a day, and I don't be having time for no gym. But I'm a clean and I'm put some music on and I'm a twerk till I bust a sweat. But yes, I just hate that people always sexualize it. Like, nah, it's been some really good workout though. For real, for real. Even like my soca fit workout class that I be doing, it's a soca dance class, and it be a lot of booty shaking going on in there.
Are you on your headset?
I always am. What, you're having a hard time hearing me?
Yeah, yes, it's just a little low. It's a little lower than usual.
Where is
I
my?
don't know if you can turn it up
So
or
it's been low this whole time.
it's like we can still hear you, but
Let me see.
it's a little low. And I'm like, when I go
Okay.
back and edit this, I'm trying to figure out if I need to turn up the volume or something. Or
Well, I took the headphones off. Can you hear me any better now?
that is perfect. Yes, that is perfect. Why do we have to do this every week? You know that headset is the devil.
We had a good week last week. I always
So you had it on last week?
Yes, I definitely had it on last week.
Oh.
Yeah, I mostly have it on. But yeah, but anyways, it's off. But yes, me and my booty shaking self. I be working out.
All righty. All right, so let's get into another little booty shaker. Her name is Miss Shirley. So
Oh, that's why you did me like that, Peaches.
yeah, I like to flow into the next
I know where she was going with it, y'all. I was like, why she calling me out?
segment. Another little booty shaker. So let's get into the video.
And her boots on the ground dance, but they're saying she looks way too grown.
Oh.
This is Miss Shirley, and she's only 4 years old. And she went viral on TikTok for her dancing. But this isn't her first rodeo. Miss Thing has went viral many times. In fact, she has nearly 1 million followers. You might remember her from this spicy skit she did to the Johnny Gill song, My, My, My. If doing skits like that made her famous, it's only natural that she graduate to this. Now people are talking and they're saying that dancing is too grown for a little 4-year-old to do. And they're blaming her mother, saying she's a millennial who never got her chance to shine. So now she's trying to live through her daughter, but she's making her daughter grow up too fast. But child, even with all that backlash, Miss Shirley says she don't care. I'm gonna keep on stepping, baby. I'm gonna keep on stepping. What do you think about Miss Shirley's dancing? Is it too cute or too grown? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tierka with the T. Follow for more.
We're not finished. We're not finished.
Okay.
Here's just another video of her. Oh, wait a minute. Why is it so slow? What is going on? I'm sorry, y'all. This is real ghetto. There we go. Okay. Hold on.
I don't know
Okay,
why
it's
it didn't cooperate.
huh? What'd you say?
No, I was saying I don't know. It looks like it was still going slow or whatever.
It was, but as far as that goes, people a little bit creeped out that grown people this grown people
Lock him the fuck up.
grown people are just too
And
excited to
lock
go
his
see this
ass the
little
fuck up
girl.
too. Lock that nigga in the back up. Lock his ass the fuck up too, holding up the peace sign. Lock him the fuck up. Lock him up. Lock him the fuck up.
Okay.
And lock his ass the fuck.
He need to be locked up for wearing that fucking pink wig, that pink beard, because nigga, please.
But my whole thing is that she's doing nothing but line dancing. Like with
Now
the
this
little
was
like
okay because she was with other kids.
yeah, but she's not like this is what I hate about about society. They take things and they sexualize it. Because they sexualize it, they basically think that everybody else is sexualizing it, and now
Now,
that little
that's
girl.
what the mom was saying. That's what the mom was saying.
And
But
y'all see
here's where it gets a little weird. The pictures with the grown men, those are at club appearances. Now, what she was
so
doing right here, this is like a public appearance, but she's been doing like club appearances at like nightclubs with grown people with no other children there. This is real innocent because she's doing it with other kids. Um,
So it's interesting because I didn't like, those additional details are very important to know. I feel like if my child, I wouldn't have her at nightclubs, honestly. Not a nightclub.
Yeah, she's got real popular and gone viral. I guess she was in the Boots on the Ground music video, and the guy who sings the song, there was a video of him hugging a little girl, and that creeped people out. I personally wouldn't have people hugging and picking up my little baby like that, but here she is again with Niecy Nash.
Your toddler is on OnlyFans, but you're calling us haters? When I first saw Miss Shirley's video, the little toddler doing the boots on the ground dance with a little fan and popping her hip, I thought it was a harmless little cute video. She sees everyone else doing the line dance. She's of course going to copy it because that's what kids do. No harm in it. And the mother started doing bookings. People questioned that at first, but I saw JoJo Siwa. She made millions of dollars for doing bookings for kids' parties and kid events. So I'm like, okay, well, there's no hurt in that. No, her bookings are at nightclubs and bars. Even when she met the singer of the Boots on the Ground song, they met at a club. I don't know him from a can of paint, but I would never let a random grown man I've never met a day in my life pick up my toddler daughter. Then there's the meet and greets, y'all. Every single one of her meet and greets are just random strangers picking up that little girl and taking pictures. Mind you, there's not another child in sight. But to then go onto OnlyFans, now we know you can have an account without doing risque things. The thing about it is people can pay you to request certain videos. That is 1000% what that mother is doing. So to call us haters, we're just looking out for your daughter, because that's exactly the type of person you are. Your toddler is on OnlyFans, but you're...
Yeah, so she's been doing like a few appearances that aren't child involved, that doesn't have a lot of kids there with her. So that's why people are real creeped out. How long is this video right here? I have another video. Damn ads. So someone else thought it was weird and someone called CPS on her.
Mm. Well, I wonder if she has an agent.
Dance or something like that's ridiculous. But the mother is literally banking on this girl by making her do meet and greets with full-grown adults in public. It's actually quite crazy, and everybody's calling her out, and it's good to see. So let's take a look at it. Jennifer Hudson. These talk shows, I'm not blaming Jennifer Hudson for doing this, but these talk shows, they need content every day. And so when a kid goes viral for doing something, they bring out the kids. I remember when Ellen brought in those two twin girls from the US, or they were sisters or something like that, and they became like ultra famous and ultra viral. And these people exploit these children just like anybody else does because they need content. But basically how she got really, really viral, she went on the Jennifer Hudson show recently to do this interview. And so let's watch it together.
It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Aww. You gonna show us how to line dance?
That's
grown adults. Grown adults, guys.
It's a little
like I can understand it's a cute little dance, and she's doing like a line dance, a true line dance, but twerking at 3 years old. If this is your culture, and a lot of people are like, well, it's black culture, twerking's like, then get different culture. You ever thought about that? Because that's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting because twerking is an adult thing, right? It's literally shaking your ass for it. It's like it's disgusting. I'm not saying twerking is disgusting. It is what it is. But for a child to do it, it's ridiculous.
Miss Shirley, how did you get that name?
Because I just call me that name.
Oh, you called you that name. So nobody gave it to you?
No.
Yes, her mother gave her the name.
How much she get the name from?
When she was a baby, like we was getting ready to get in the car one day, and she gave me attitude. She was crying out, a baby. Like, now we're not gonna act like this today, Miss Shirley.
She was literally couldn't even remember that.
Was a baby?
Yeah.
Giving me attitude as a literal newborn baby. If you say the words, my baby gave me attitude, you're not fit to be a parent. Anyway, so that's kind of what she went viral for doing this.
Pause this.
I guess. But
What's up?
So basically, he clearly, like, for one, I don't know if he has kids, whatever the case is. These little kids, they have little attitudes and they have little personalities from babies. So yeah, so sometimes, so what the mother says basically about something like that, like you might say something like that to your baby because that's the normal thing. Like we talk to our babies like they're regular people, even when they're babies. And like your baby about to start crying, you're like, don't do that. Big bag, you might say something like that to the baby, especially if you got a little thick baby or something. But I don't see why he's making it like I feel like they're nitpicking at the things that don't even matter. He's like, oh, how if you say that your baby has an attitude, you don't deserve to be a parent. What?
That particular point, he may be nitpicking, but it's too many similarities with the mom using the little girl for bookings, and then bookings where there are in spaces where there are only grown adults. So I don't know. Do you know who the young actress, like she was from the 30s, Shirley Temple? You know who Shirley Temple is?
I've heard. It's funny because they got a drink called the Shirley Temple.
It's named after her. So Shirley Temple, she was a child actress like back in the 30s. But here's the thing. She was a child actress, but she was doing a lot of acting in like adult roles, like war, like a military like bases. She was like around a lot of adult grown men as a toddler, as a baby. And a lot of people are comparing Miss Shirley and Shirley Temple because not just the name, but just the parent using her as, as a money scapegoat, I guess you can say. Yeah, so that's what this next video is about. Let me go ahead and share the tab. Let me make sure you can see it on here. Okay.
Named her child after Shirley Temple. A chilling detail reveals her daunting ambition. Miss Shirley's real name is actually Mariah, yet her mother insists on using Shirley as her public persona. This seemingly ordinary choice hides a deliberate imitation of the century-old Hollywood child star Shirley Temple and further reflects a mother's ambition. As we all know, Shirley Temple's mother was determined to make her daughter a star. At the age of 3, Temple began learning dance, and at 6, she was discovered by Jay Gorney. She started imitating adult manners in front of the camera and wearing exquisite dresses. She earned over $4 million for 20th Century Fox and more than $3 million for her family. Now, the 4-year-old Miss Shirley finds herself in a strikingly similar situation to Temple's. At such a young age, she is pushed into the spotlight, dancing routines that do not match her age under the studio lights and displaying a maturity and obedience beyond her years. It turns out that Miss Shirley's mother also hopes she will become a star like Temple. Her every move is overly interpreted and commodified by the adult world. With her, no wonder Miss Shirley's mother.
Yeah, so that's how they're, comparing those two. It's okay for her to be doing the little dance or whatever, but it's too many similarities between young children who are being exploited from their parents and from the people around them, like agents or managers or whatever. Girl, when I go back and look at those clips about Shirley Temple and how she was around all those grown men and, singing those musicals and they picking her up and she had on these little dresses. Now, this Miss Shirley, she may not be wearing the little dresses, but, she's got the makeup and the hair and the dance and stuff like that. So hopefully this little 15 minutes of fame will just die down.
So honestly, here's the thing. You know how there's some kids that's in beauty pageants from a real young age?
That's what we were talking about at work. We was talking about that, Shirley Temple and John Benet Ramsey, how she was, may have been exploited to where somebody had to been obsessed with her. And that's how she ended up on the live because her mom had her in a whole bunch of pageants and shit also. Wearing a whole bunch of makeup and just look, Miss Shirley Temple, John Benet Ramsey. they're all in the public eye, little babies in the public eye, until something horrible fucking happens to them. That's why a lot of people just opt to not put their children on the internet. Like, I understand, you may want your children to get a little bit of exposure or something like that, but how far are you willing to go?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna play this last video, and I guess that'll be it on Miss Shirley.
Okay.
About what was happening. This is how the movie industry took advantage of the child actress Shirley Temple. At just 3 years old, the actress starred in the 1932 film War Babies, where she played a sex worker named Charmaine. From then onwards, the industry pushed her to the extreme. She wrote in her memoir about how whenever she misbehaved on set, she was locked inside a windowless booth. To make matters worse, studios didn't want to lose any shooting days and allegedly forced Temple to work even when she physically couldn't. Temple was severely unsupervised during this time.
I rarely had two parents in any film, and quite often none at all.
At 12 years old, she visited MGM to possibly sign a contract with them, but she was shocked when producer Arthur Freed allegedly exposed himself to her.
I laughed at him, and he got infuriated. He said, out, out, out.
Shirley continued her career, but when she got access to her trust fund, she was shocked.
What I had earned was about $3,400,000. What I actually had was $44,000. I'd never seen anyone naked before, so I had no clue about what was happening.
This is how the movie industry took it.
And the sad part about Shirley Temple's story, her mom was taking advantage of her also. So we just got to be careful when we want these kids to be having a little bit of, camera time or fame or whatever you want to call it. They need to be protected at the same time. It may look innocent when grown-ass people go and see Miss Shirley at a nightclub so she can fan and line dance and shit like that. But what's really happening? You don't know who's watching your kids.
Yeah.
You don't know who's following your kids. Somebody could follow you home. Somebody may be stalking you because you have your baby out there in certain spaces. So it may look innocent, and it probably is innocent, but you can never be too careful. You can never be too careful. Oh, I forgot. Somebody called CPS on the mama. Here's the guy that called CPS on the mama. I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Where's this guy? I thought that was the last little Miss Shirley, but this the guy that called CPS on the mama.
I see everybody asking $1 million question. Who called CPS on Miss Shirley mama? Guilty. I didn't know her mama was going to get on live crashing out afterwards. And quite frankly, I don't give a damn. On my mama, I ain't never had this many people mad at me at one time in my life. I'm not even going to lie. I was already scared for the little girl while she was doing boots on the ground, goddammit. But then I saw that little Johnny Gill put on your red dress and your high heel videos. And nah, man, I picked up my phone immediately. It's one thing about us talking about this shit every day, but I feel like somebody had to take action. I mean, it ain't really that bad either. If CPS find out it ain't no case, they gonna drop the case. But if they find that it is a case, then maybe I did do the right thing. One day, Miss Shirley gonna find this video and she gonna thank me one day. She had that little girl putting her boots on the ground, goddamn, and I put my foot down. And don't judge me either, man. I was just looking out. Shit, if anything were to happen to that little girl and all of us grown-ups was just sitting there watching and didn't say shit, goddamn it. I see everybody asking $1 million question. Who called CPS on Miss Shirley mama? Guilty.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts about the whole CPS situation?
Honestly, like, I feel like he should have never took it upon himself to report that. Like, I feel like her friends and family that knows her, I feel like them of all people would be able to report that something is going wrong. But they know the type of mom she is, and a lot of the times those type of kids, they're not children that just wake up one day and just start doing that type of stuff. These kids really train for that type of stuff. I don't know if you tried to do them line dances, but they not easy. So this is something that she's training her daughter for, and her daughter has an interest in doing it. And she's just supporting her daughter and making sure that they bank off for it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But what like he said, he reported it to the authorities. Now, if the authorities do an investigation and they say there's nothing wrong, then that's how we know she's just a good mom trying to make sure her daughter's profitable, and getting paid for her time and whatever she has to offer. But, if there is a case, then we gonna be like, okay, yeah, well, according to them, the authorities feels this like this, so then they was right. Some shit may have been going on that's not like appropriate per the authorities. We're gonna find out. So
all right, I guess we'll find out if anything does happen when the little girl becomes of age and she starts remembering stuff. Hopefully that's not the case, but I guess that's it for Miss Shirley. I hear the story. It seems like the story is dying down and it's not getting that much attention. So hopefully that'll be it for her. She can have a nice profitable summer and then take her ass to school because she's what, 4? She'll be 5 next year, so she should be in kindergarten. Boots on the ground should turn into ABC and 1, 2, 3. All right. What was the next topic?
all right, so the first thing we went over so far, we just talked about Miss Shirley. The next topic is DDG and Halle Bailey. Halle
Doodle Garbage
Bailey.
and Haley Bailey.
Haley Bailey.
Doodle Garbage and Haley Bailey. Oh, I don't went off of the damn Instagram page. So Doodle Garbage, he called himself filing for temporary paperwork or wherever the fuck he called himself doing. Okay, so Hallie, she has full temporary custody until their next court date.
Mm.
So he tried to file something to counteract because she has full temporary custody. She has full custody. She can have a say of what happens with this child, where the child goes, where the child travels to. It's all on her. Now she has an acting job in
Overseas.
in Italy for the summer. So she's supposed to be in Italy for the summer for the next few months. Doodle Garbage files this shit. He files the paperwork before like a few days before she's supposed to leave. So I feel like it wasn't anything like for real that he was trying to do. I think he was just trying to stop her bag and stop her from taking the baby. And the type of nigga he is, I would be so fucking scared to leave my child with him, to the point where, like, it's probably a fear of Hallie's that he would like take the baby to where she wouldn't know where he is. Like, because he's always talking about, oh, I just want to spend time with my child. I want to spend time with my child.
Don't they have a boy though?
Yeah, I understand that he wants to spend time with the child, but he's the type of nigga to where, okay, if she'll like call and text, be like, hey, is my baby okay? Where is my baby? Where are you with my baby? He won't respond and then have her head fucked up like, oh my God, there's something wrong. Like he took my baby somewhere. But I feel like he's the type of nigga that'll have the baby around the whole, but just like when he had the baby on that Kai Cenat.
Live.
Yeah,
honestly, you're not wrong. Like, unfortunately, that's something that I struggled with for a long time. Like when my son was young, it was like I really didn't want him around his father because his father is rough or whatever the case might be. And my son wasn't able to talk. But it's like eventually, because I wasn't about to be going back and forth to court. It's like I was like, okay, I just gotta hope for the best, And I look at my child when I do have to pick him up. I see how my son's mood is, and how he is, or whatever. I FaceTime. Like sometimes when his father have an attitude, he does stuff like that. Like he won't give me updates. He won't let me see the boy, on FaceTime or nothing. And I hate that. But at the end of the day, it's like he is the father. Like, a lot of the times, like people be forgetting, and like I said, I struggle with it because sometimes I'll be ready to I'll be ready to go left eye,
over certain things because I don't like the way how he deals with the parenting when it comes to our son. So I know what she's going through and it's stressful, but you know, that baby is gonna keep getting older and older, and that baby's gonna be able to talk, you know? So she's gonna be able to, you know, make figure out how to best work that out because legally as the father, he has just as much rights, for real, for real. Like now, another thing with custody, where a lot of people don't know, is that if you going through the courts for custody, a lot of the times they'll both be required to take parenting classes. And if you don't do the parenting classes, because once you start going to the courts are going to be the ones to say yes or no. You know,
Yeah.
if he filed that, he could file that all day long. If the courts look into it and they do their thorough investigation, they could be like, nah, Mister, whatever your name is, doodle garbage, whatever teachers be calling him. You know, you're not a fit father. We're gonna, you know, work in honor of the mom. Or if they look at everything, they could say, you know what, y'all gonna do 50-50 custody. If they do 50-50 custody, it's gonna be 6 months with her, 6 months or 1 week. Like honestly, they will have to figure it out. Like, cause even with me, like I felt like if we ever did 50-50 custody, I would need a week with my son and then he could go for a week. Then I need my son back a week. You know, that's how I would do it. Like some
But
people
here's the
do.
thing, that's what she was trying to do, and he wasn't keeping up with that. And then when he did keep in contact and pick up his son, he wouldn't even be with his son. Either he would have his son's face on the fucking internet, or the son
Or
was
the
just
son
with
is with
his mom.
somebody else. That's what these baby fathers do. Like when my son goes with his dad, his father be at work. I don't even know who be watching my son. And honestly, that's something I'm gonna have to deal with in the future. Cause right now, as long as my son is safe and I know he don't got no new marks on him, you know, but when he goes to work, I don't know who my son be left with. And as a mother, I have every right to know. But that's exactly what these men do. They literally get their kids and then they get their kids and they drop them off with other people. My son went to Jamaica. I'm calling him. I'm like, hey, let me talk to my son. Oh, he home with my mom. Oh, he home with my sister. Oh, my sister took him. Like, whoa. He's supposed to be spending time with his father, but he with everybody and their mom and their cousin and uncle. Like, you know? But that's what these men do. My middle child, she goes with her dad. I call him. He like, yeah, I'm out right now. I'm like, well, where's she at? So she at the house with my people. Like, fathers really,
And
really.
who are these people? I understand they're your family members, but how do you know you don't have a family member who be touching little kids?
And that's the thing. And these men don't be thinking about that. All they thinking is they want to make it seem like they a good father and they picking up the kid, but they really not being fathers for real. But again, like I said, at the end of the day, because he's just as much the father as she is the mother. At this point, it is best to let the courts decide. That's the only thing that can be done. You know?
I know these two people who are actually going through that. They filed for separation, and because the filing for separation, they have to be separated for a year before the divorce is
Of course.
finalized.
Yep.
So
North Carolina rules.
yep, in that time they are, you know, doing the whole custody, and you know, they are doing the whole custody
They
of.
got to do parenting classes, right?
Yeah, I saw. Okay, so I
Yep.
was being a little nosy, and I searched up their names because, you know, Mecklenburg County, everything on civil record is online. So I was being a little nosy, and I saw where, you know, they filed, and then they filed for custody, and now they have to have a parenting class completed, and they have to upload. The courts uploaded the certificate for the parenting class, and I'm
Mhm.
like, damn, these are two responsible people. Why they have to take a parenting class? It's
Yeah,
just a
you have
law. Once you
to. It
bring
don't
the
matter who
courts
you
and
are,
the
you got to
law
do
into
it.
it, yeah. So I was like, damn, I hate that. You know, it came down to that between these two people, but then I understand because the father makes more money than the mother does. So the mother filed for uh child
Spousal
support,
support and probably spousal
and
and child
he
support.
had to claim all of his income. And I saw the income, and I saw where he works, because I thought he worked at one place. He works at another place, and then he has a little side hustle. So she's claiming that for the child support also. So
Mm.
yeah,
She
yeah.
want she want blood. She like, Your Honor, he make more than that.
Uh-huh. That's exactly what it was.
She
Yeah.
want blood. Like she
Yeah, that's
know.
exactly what it was. But yeah, let's get into the clip.
There's also an incident that he talks about, August 2023. They got into an argument of some sort. And after the argument, he alleges that Haley took his legal gun and left their home. And he got scared again for safety. And he called his mom and his mother's fiance because he couldn't find her. So he says that his mom came, found her. They found her outside of the home, allegedly still holding the gun. And she was emotionally unwell and incoherent and potentially suicidal then. And then there is an additional time, March 22nd, that he alleges in Atlanta. There's also an incident that he talks about, August 2023. They got into an argument of some sort. And after the argument, he alleges that Haley took his legal gun.
My thing is, how come this didn't come up when this whole gun situation didn't come up, you know, before she even filed her stuff? Like when this happened, how come it wasn't?
But my thing is that he's alleging that. Did he call, like, did he say, did they say he called authorities, or did he just call?
No, he's just now reporting it. He's just now reporting it in the documents that he filed before she was supposed to leave for Italy.
But if there's no police reports to back it up, she got ring camera footage, she got police reports.
She has everything, yeah. And all he has is this right here, this little picture of his thumb.
Exhibit 3. Oh, it's
look like you hit her.
That could have happened anytime though.
No, to this tweet. So she's saying she was cheated or she was pregnant. Man, no to this tweet. What's wrong with it? Donald, of all people, let's not. It's not that deep. It is, though. Donald was
like
a
a whole
racist
bunch
man.
of fucking text messages from 2 or 3 years ago when she was going through postpartum. And okay, so she was going through postpartum. So why are you putting that on display? Trying to say that she's mentally unstable. She just had your baby and you're cheating on her.
Right.
So I feel like he was using her mental fallout from that as to say she's not mentally stable. So he got into a fight recently.
At that point in time, she wasn't mentally stable because she's dealing with postpartum, which is a very real thing. And at the end of the day, you dealing with a nigga that's stressing you the fuck out.
Yes.
I would pick up that gun too. I don't know what I was going to do with it. I probably was going to do nothing with it. But in that moment, like, come on. But at the end of the day, like I said, I feel like the courts need to just do their thorough investigation and, you know, but.
So this nigga just got into a fight not too long ago.
Who?
Somebody walked doodle garbage. Somebody walked in and called him doodle garbage.
No run. No run.
This in here. This the guy that called him doodle garbage.
This DDG. Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
That's him?
Yeah, that's the guy who called him doodle garbage.
Hold on. You all right?
That's DDG. That's DDG.
Y'all get to moving. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here.
So the guy
wait, pay it one more time, please.
Yeah, the guy with the dreads is the one who called him doodle garbage. That's DDG.
No run.
That's the guy who called him doodle garbage.
No run.
Doodle garbage. I can't remember his name though.
This DDG. Oh, shit! Hey. Oh,
Yeah, he slammed the fuck out of him.
Hold on. You alright? You alright?
Yo, he slammed the fuck out of him.
My thing is that if you're gonna be talking shit like that, you better be fucking.
He gonna
You
talk
better.
shit and run. He ran from an ass whooping.
I'm like, boy, you ain't even strong enough to be talking that type of shit.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. But yeah, that's it for DDG. Like, it's not a good look for him. So whatever he filed before she was supposed to leave, it was denied. It was denied. So Oh, and then like you would have thought that he was, all broken up about not spending time with his child for the summer. He out here living his best life.
Listen, that's men for you. Men, like I said, the difference between a man and a woman is like we actually have an attachment to the child because we literally this child was an egg in us our whole lives, and then we carry them and grow them, and we have to change our whole lives while we're carrying them for 40 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then we give birth to them, and a lot of the times they're breastfed, like we really have a bond with this kid. Like my son, he was breastfed until he was a little over 2. So, it's like they need, I don't know how old that baby is, but my son was breastfed a little bit over 2. So, say if he's still a breast boy, I don't know if he is, but he needs his mama.
Exactly.
If he is a breast baby, because some people they breastfeed their kids longer than that. But, I really hope it works out for her because I'm really attached to my son and I be in my feelings and I'm going through it. But at this point in time, I just have to pray about it because I'm not about to be going back and forth to court. Like, I don't got the time, effort, energy, or money to be paying them court fees. So I just try to work with him. And we got this agreement to where he gets him every weekend. So I get baby free weekends, and that works for me. And I got to appreciate that because he's very consistent with it. And my son is always looking really good and he's really happy. So, but yeah, it's hard being a mom, but you know, they get older and then they start talking, they start communicating. He gonna be able to pick up the phone and call his mama whenever he wants to eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, they're gonna have to let the courts do their thing because they got the courts involved and they couldn't figure it out on their own. But that's what the courts are there for.
Speaking of courts.
Speaking of courts. Hello. I'm like, hello. You said speaking of courts and you didn't say anything else. Peaches.
Uh-huh.
You said speaking of courts. Hello. Paige and Peaches.
Mm. But yeah, that's what it seemed like. He just filed in retaliation. So I hope Hallie and Halo have a good time in Italy this summer.
Mm.
I hope they have a good ass fucking time, just like he had a good ass time in Streamer University or whatever the hell it is.
Mm.
And at that party where he was getting ass on them. Speaking of ain't shit fathers, let's get into Brian McKnight.
So, what then happened with
Let's
them?
get into Brian McKnight. Let's start from the beginning, though. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning with Brian McKnight. Brian McFright.
Knight disowning his other children for her children and their new child together seems to get worse because all the crazy stories are coming out of the woodwork. How about we start here, where he says father of Julia, etc., etc. He only has one child with her. The rest are his stepchildren. He has completely disowned his other kids. He has 3 other kids, including a daughter, Brianna. Oh, and it gets worse. Some of you have been saying in the comment section he had posted recently about his stepdaughter saying, "Thank you for making me a girl dad." He has a daughter. And then this, of course, this other post here. You can pause the video to read the full caption here, but he says, "I couldn't ask for a better daughter than you." I'm not going to pretend like kids are perfect, but there's a lot of smoke around Brian McKnight. And I don't think these kids have been that bad to be cut off the way that he's cut them off. The situation with Brian McKnight disowning his other children for her children and
Exactly. So let's go to the other post. So I don't know what had happened with his children, but are children really that bad that you would disown them? Like, well, I don't know the whole situation, but come on now. When you listen to his children's side of the story, it seems like he got a whole nother family, a non-black family, but a whole nother family nonetheless. And now he's claiming her kids. And he legally changed his name to where the newborn son, has his name as in a junior, but he already has a Brian McKnight Jr. who was in his 30s.
Well, that's not unusual. My father, he had a son in Jamaica, and he made him a junior. Then he came to America, had a son here. He made him a junior.
What the
So,
fuck, girl?
yeah. So I have 2 brothers with the same name, and it's funny because we call them both PJ. Now, none of them first name is PJ. Their middle name is Paul. So the PJ is like a Paul Jr. But my grandmother named my brother PJ, and then my brother in Jamaica, his grandmother named him PJ. So we was trying to figure out how they had the same name and the same nickname, but coincidentally,
By
they grandmothers.
coincidence. Were they
Yes. So we
Irish
pulled.
twins? Were they both born at the same time?
No, so he's so no, so my brother, my first the Jamaican, because we call him Jamaican PJ. He is 10 years older than me. And then it's funny because the other PJ is my Irish twin because I was born August of 1990 and he was born September of 1989. So when I turned 35 in August, he's going to be 35 still, but then he turns 36 on September 21st. So he's my Irish twin. So it's funny that you said that. So the American PJ is my Irish twin, and then I have a Jamaican PJ. And I got a sister born in Jamaica too. And it's funny because they're
Dang.
Irish twins now because they're born in the same year and they live right down the street from each other. Ha ha ha. And one was born in February, one was born in November. So, but yeah. So
Well, these kids are literally a few decades apart. That's why everybody's confused about why he's treating his older kids differently than his.
So basically, I feel like with the older kids, he probably was a different person back then. And then a lot of the men, they don't know how to Like my father, for example, he's alive, but I don't have a relationship with my father. My father got all these kids. Nobody talks to my father. If anything, I talk to my father the most, and I haven't spoken to my father for like almost 3 years at this point. And he's alive. So, and we don't understand like what it is. Like my mom never did child support on that man. He just got to live his life. We thought when we got older, we was gonna have a better relationship with him, but he's just weird. Even like my younger siblings, because he ended up having like I got 3 siblings that live in Minnesota where he lives, you know. Even my brother that was born in Jamaica lives in Minnesota where he lives, and we just do not hear from that man.
Wow.
So some people just don't want to be parents or something. I don't know what it is. Because when he was around and my mom, like he was an active father. I think the breakup between him and my mom probably, I don't know. But he was an active father. Like he used to take us places and do stuff and, make sure like, he had us climbing rocks at the park and stuff, climbing waterfalls and stuff. Like he used to be active. He's a Jamaican. And he was in the military and he was a police officer. So, but once they separated, I don't know what happened. He does not want to be a father to
All right.
none of his kids. None.
Let me go ahead and play this.
So I don't know. His bond, maybe his bond with the younger kids is different, but he needs to do better, because he got it in him. Like my father just don't got it in him. But if you could treat your other Are you playing something?
Oh yeah.
So I think this is the second time this happened, but whatever you're playing is not showing. At least I can't see it.
Oh shit. Hold on. Let me start over.
Because
Let me
even
start
earlier, I
over.
noticed you muted my mic while I was talking. I guess maybe because you were sharing something, but I wasn't
Yeah,
seeing
I
it.
didn't even have it up on the thing. Oh fuck. Oh darn.
Yes, so you need to play that other video over because I was like, why she muted my mic? And I'm like, I know it was a reason. I was going to side message you, but I'm like, so I know it's
No,
always a
no, no,
method to
no.
the
This
madness.
thing was playing, but I didn't have the share screen on.
But this is the second video. There was another video you said you was going to play earlier, but I didn't see or hear nothing.
Some would say disowned, disregarded son of Brian McKnight. We learned today from his Uncle Claude that he passed away after a 2-year battle with cancer. And I cannot help but reflect on the comments and actions of his father. Brian McKnight, once a staple in R&B, arguably the best living R&B voice alive, is now known more for family estrangement than any chart-topping hit he ever had. And as if the story wasn't already painful enough, this news that his son Nico has passed away to battling cancer is just heartbreaking. He's gone without the healing, without the apology, and as far as we know, without his father by his side. Brian McKnight has 4 biological children from previous relationships: Brian Jr., Nico, Brianna, and Clyde. But if you followed him recently on social media, you'd think he was only the father to his stepchildren and his new baby boy. Brian has called his biological children evil, negative, and most disturbingly to me, products of sin. He legally changed his name to Brian Keona McCoy McKnight Sr. to match the son that he had in 2023, despite already having had a son named Brian Jr. To me, the message this man tried to send to his children couldn't be more clear. He wanted a fresh start, a new legacy that didn't include any of the children that bore his last name first. I don't know how anyone could still support this man. It's about accountability. It's about the trauma we carry when parents abandon us and how the pain gets amplified when they do it with a smile, a sermon, and a spotlight. To Nico McKnight, may he rest in paradise. He deserved better. He deserved a life that was full of love without conditions. He deserved a father who showed up. This is Nico McKnight.
That's crazy. So, like, do people really feel bad when they disown their children like that? And then their children pass away?
That's the thing. You'll never
Owning
know.
his other children for her children and
Oh
their
wait,
new
I already
child
played that
together
one.
seems to
I already played that one. Here's his mom talking about his.
No, you didn't play that one. That was probably the one that was me that wasn't shown that I'll keep talking about. I didn't see that one.
Oh, this one.
Go back. Let me see.
Let me go back.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pause it real quick, and then share that one because it doesn't let me share the tab. This the one you didn't see?
his other children for her children and their new child together seems to get worse because all the crazy stories are coming out of the woodwork. How about we start here, where he says father of Julia, etc., etc. He only has one child with her. The rest are his stepchildren. He has completely disowned his other kids. He has 3 other kids, including a daughter, Brianna. Oh, and it gets worse. Some of you have been saying in the comment section he had posted recently about his stepdaughter saying, "Thank you for making me a girl dad." He has a daughter. And then this, of course, this other post here. You can pause the video to read the full caption here, but he says, "I couldn't ask for a better daughter than you." I'm not going to pretend like kids are perfect, but there's a lot of smoke around Brian McKnight. And I don't think these kids have been that bad to be cut off the way that he's cut them off. The situation with Brian McKnight disowning his other children.
Okay, so that was that video. Let me go back to this tab. Here's his ex-wife talking about his son's cancer.
Blew a text from him about a year ago when our son Nico was, going through his healing process. So I did get a very, very, very negative text from him during that process. And I'm glad you asked that, because then I can address, he made a comment where he hasn't contacted our son because I left a very, he didn't say harsh, very aggressive voicemail. And in a way, I will say that is true, because once the text was received, I did make it very, very, very clear that this type of negativity is not what's going to be allowed in this space. And if this type of negativity is what you're bringing, do not bring it here. Mm-hmm. If you would like to be helpful, if you would like to be a part of this, no problem. Now you know how to reach me. But this is what we're not going to do. So I guess it was harsh.
Well, and is that the incident that we read about on social media and in entertainment blogs, where I think that he made mention that you basically said stay away?
Yeah, he said his words were that I told him to stay away. What he was told was not to bring that bleep into this situation. The moment that he said that they were born out of evil, they were born out of sin, the moment that he said they're the way they are because their mother raised them, absolutely. And I thank God. So at that point, he essentially just handed full everything to me, which I had. So yeah, if I'm protecting my son and my daughter-in-law, you will not do this in this space. And yeah, he was told that. Now you're more than welcome to be a part of this in a positive way. But once the text was sent, it was, oh no, thank you. No. But he is still welcome. Just you have to come in the correct way.
But I want to bring the bleepity bleep bleep bleep. I want to be welcome and bring the bleepity bleep bleep bleep.
No.
And you're not allowing that.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Whoever you are. I did receive out of the blue a text from him about a year ago when our son Nico was, going through.
Okay, so that's about to replay. So yeah.
Okay, so basically from what I'm getting from this whole thing is that he's basically being petty, and pretty much is basing his relationship with his kids based off of the relationship with his mom, which a lot of men actually do that as well. Like they be feeling like, okay, whatever beef and drama they got with the mom as a result of that, they're gonna not be a father. Which at the end of the day, that's BS. He could have definitely If you could be a father to those other children and some that are not even yours, you could definitely try to figure out what your children need from you as their father, because that really hurts to have to watch your father be a father to other kids and not be a father to you, you know. And then his son died not being, being able to have a good relationship with his dad, but apparently it's because of whatever issues the mom got, because she's admitting to calling him and saying whatever, which she has every right to set her boundaries, but you know, that ain't no excuse for him not putting in that extra effort to really be a father for real, you know?
Exactly, exactly. And then the whole product of sin
Yeah.
comment. You could just get the hell up out of here with that. Like get the fuck away from us. I understand if somebody would say get the fuck away from us, because that was completely unnecessary. That is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And he tried to post, oh, we had a ceremony on the beach in Hawaii for Nico. Nigga, stop lying. Like he said, he posted that because everybody was trying to figure out like a few days after, like what is he gonna post anything? And it was like 2 days after he passed that they said that they flew to Hawaii and had a ceremony. Oh, that quick, y'all flew that quick to Hawaii and had a ceremony for somebody you said was a product of sin. You really gave a damn like that? Okay.
Well,
Okay.
maybe sometimes you gotta understand. Sometimes he still was his son. He's probably grieving. He has to, you can't say he didn't love his son, even though he probably didn't have a good relationship. Because some women train their kids to hate their father. For real, for real. We don't know what the whole situation is. Because they could have had a bad relationship because even what the mom said, she was like, oh, some people say my kids are the way that they are because I made them like that. She's like, absolutely. Like, I don't know what their whole relationship was, but he probably hates her. I don't know. If he hates his baby most, a lot of guys hate their baby mom, and that's probably their situation. But again, like I said, it doesn't give him an excuse to not have put that extra effort in. But we can't say that he not grieving and that he didn't love him. It was his son, you know.
All righty. Speaking of, does Kevin Gates have any children? Because I don't know if
Yeah,
I
no, he talks about his children on his songs. I think he has a son and a daughter at least. They keep talking about Drika. Like, does he have kids with Drika?
I don't know, girl. I used to hear that Draken was his cousin.
I
So
heard I heard something like that too. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think he said, but he was like how basically they was already like in love by the time they found out.
ew. Okay. Yeah, let's get into the clip.
Let me tell you something. Kevin Gates out here looking like the next Travis Hunter. Because just after 52 days, ain't even had the goddamn presidency of Trump. 52 days of marriage with Brittany Renner. She just filed for divorce. Check this slow goddamn retard. I'm talking about short boy.
He doing a little bit too much. What's the next clip? Okay, so do you know who Brittany Renner is? Like the beginning of her.
They say she had a baby at the age of 26 with an 18-year-old.
Yeah, with PJ Washington. I think he actually plays for the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets. With PJ Washington. But here's her right here on top of Charleston White, who's a professional online hater.
You guys look like you had some fun when you were on a podcast together.
We did. Oh, we had so much fun. We can't even show the clips after the podcast.
She was doing a lot. I could have sworn that Charleston White was married.
What this bitch Brittany running off of? Yo, she off. What this?
This before she got into Islam. So this is her now.
First of all, Allahu Akbar. I've gone through a lot of changes internally,
And as a result, my outer world has completely crumbled. Sorry.
Why is she turning red?
Woo! Wow. Leaving me incredibly uncertain in just about every area in my life. I have no
She about
idea
to cry.
where I'm going to live or how I'm going to provide for my son. But Allah has moved mountains for me, and I trust that this will be no different. I feel like Alice when she ate the cookie and her feet went through the windows and she's crammed in the house like that. I've outgrown where I am. The facade is fading, alhamdulillah. And I'm at a place where I don't want anything that doesn't have my name on it. Take it away. It serves no purpose here. And I don't want a penny more than I'm, first of all, Allah.
Okay. So she's
It's
gonna
crazy because if you go like if you that was it's interesting because I'm like, why the heck is she turning so red? I guess she wanted to cry. Like it's crazy because I don't know what she's going through. But did you see that? Her face, like around her eyes, it started to
her
turn.
cheeks. Yeah.
Yes. Dang. And then she starts saying she don't know what her son. I wonder what happened between her and Kevin because they say she filed for divorce. Cause I'm sure like as a Muslim, he was taking care of her. He took her in because that was his wife, and Muslim men they provide, you know.
So they got
Hey,
married.
well, first things first. He was doing semen retention last time I saw him. Has the retention been lifted?
Okay, well, that's a question you would have to ask him.
Okay.
But we got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced.
Yes. But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant because then he would be responsible, right? What I also will add is that I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say in this world. And I have no shame in that. That's why I'm here. BET Awards. As you can see, I'm out here on this blacktop by myself.
Hey, well, first things first. He was doing semen retention last time I saw him.
I don't know why he would ask. Why would a man ask you about another man doing semen retention? First of all, like they are so weird. But
they just want a whole bunch of information.
But you saw that comment. Somebody was like, "Oh, isn't he married to Drika?" But honestly, I don't know how it works in the U.S. But I don't think because you can only have one legal spouse. But I thought he was married to Drika. But I know in Islam you can have 4 wives as long as you can financially afford them, and Kevin Gates definitely could. But I don't know. Do you know if he's supposed to be married to Drika?
That's what I thought, but so you was asking what was she at? Because I didn't know what she was famous for. I just saw her pop up on the fucking internet talking about being a basketball groupie, and here's something about her having a baby by an NBA player. So apparently she's on the new season of Basketball Wives that's coming up. So
I think it's 7 minutes.
She got a check from being on Basketball Wives. So I guess this is all publicity. I don't know.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
You said you can't hear?
No.
Has lost connection with screen share audio. Oh, it said it lost connection. How do I get it back?
Probably stop sharing and reshare.
Okay, let me go back.
Girl, you know I'm not the techie person. Huh.
Yeah, but
that's my answer to everything. Start all over.
It might work. It might work. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Can you hear now?
By having a baby
Yeah.
player PJ Washington, only for her to be boo-hooing on Instagram about not being able to take care of her baby.
That's nothing to
Baby,
tease
if that
about.
child was a person, her picture would be in the dictionary. Okay, if it didn't work out the way I thought it was a person. If let me see. What's another good one? I ran my mouth too damn much was a person. This is a cautionary tale. This auntie coming to tell y'all. I don't think it would have been so bad if Brittany hadn't got her narrow ass in these social media streets talking about how to secure the bag. You know what I'm saying? By being a groupie.
My experience, the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, I mean, you could just athlete. They're really done.
It was Deion Sanders invited her to Jackson State to talk to his football team when he was down there. For her to tell them to be careful and watch out for these hoes. And I'd be doggone if she didn't become one of these hoes.
That was crazy to me. Like, you let somebody invite you to talk to a bunch of athletes to avoid bitches like you. They don't make you feel the type of way. But anyway.
Ooh. Okay, let's back up. Let's put a little bit of spice on PJ, okay? We got to put a little hot sauce on his situation because she was out here. You knew who she was. You knew what she was. And you still knocked her up, okay? You still shot up the club and put a baby in there, okay? So, PJ, you get a dummy award too, okay? If she get a dummy award, you get a dummy award. But hers is a little bigger because she was awarded $2,500 a month in child support. I believe these judges is catching on. I believe that the child support calculations have been altered and the hoes haven't found out. We used to seeing figures like 5,000, 8,000 a month. Baby, she thought she was, gonna be pulling it in. $2,500 a month is the rent. If you don't want to stay in the hood, that is the rent. And then what? But wasn't she modeling, clout chasing before? Didn't she? I mean, don't she have something else to, a little more change? Instagram modeling ain't paying that much no more. TikTok videos, girl, come on, you do something now. And what she online with it? Hijab, y'all forgive me. Talking about some Allah. I ain't saying people ain't changed. I'm just saying people either find the Lord or they find a new Lord when things get hard, don't they? Talking about Allah. Allah just met you, girl. Allah didn't know nothing about you till you got that judgment talking about $2,500 a month. Then you got to know Allah. Come on, man. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Ooh, honey.
Okay. Bitch, I can make $2,500 a month on top of my income stretch. If I'm working and if I'm getting $2,500 a month on top of my income, then okay.
Yeah, that's shit, that's decent. Like they act like it's not money. That's something because even if she put that baby in daycare, that's what, 1,000 a month. She still got another 1,500 to take care of whatever else she got to take care.
On top of her working. Because $2,500 a month, that's not enough on top of your income. So if you get that and child support, then okay. So I don't know what the hell she was doing. I don't know how much her bills were. She was talking like she was going to be homeless. I don't know what's going on, how the scheduling is between.
The thing is that with these people, they want to live a certain lifestyle. So basically, wherever she was living, it probably costs way more than that. And she can't afford. I think at this point, because her and Kevin Gates are I think she was good with Kevin Gates because Kevin Gates would have had to take her and her child in. But if they got divorced May 28th, it's literally like June, 8th? They just got, so now they're divorced. She's pretty much within 90 days because she said they got to make sure she's not pregnant, from what I understand. So within 90 days, as long as she's not pregnant, then
Well, she's
they're
probably
completely
hoping
done.
she is because that's another layer of child support. So.
But if she is pregnant, then of course he would have to continue to provide for her and that child because that's how a Muslim man. Honestly, it's crazy because I don't really like with the whole Muslim. I don't want to be with a man who wants multiple wives, but I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna take real good care of you, and they're not gonna lie and cheat and do shit behind your back. They're gonna have conversations with you, but I don't want that. But I would rather be with somebody who's coming to me and open and honest than for me to be in a relationship with a quote unquote Christian man and they have this old one man and one wife, and every time you turn around, he's cheating. Like, come on. Girl, you can't win with these men. You cannot.
No, and if that's the case, then why are you relying on him to take care of your children. Why are you allowing yourself to get pregnant if you can't really rely on the girl? Okay. I had a
Listen.
conversation with somebody maybe like a week ago, and it just pissed me off because we was talking about having kids. I think somebody asked me how come I don't have any children, which is really none of anybody's fucking business. But one of the main reasons why I've just never put myself in the position to even be bothered with a nigga on top of getting pregnant by some nigga and just having kids just because. um okay, so I used to ride the bus before I started driving. So when I would ride the bus, I've been riding the bus for years. When I was riding the bus, you know what really pissed me the fuck off?
Mm.
When I would see women get on the bus with carriers, strollers, one, two, three kids by them fucking selves, carrying groceries and shit like that. And then, of course, you know, me, I would help, but it would be even like it would be niggas on the bus looking at her struggling. And at first I would ask, well, how come these so-called gentlemen aren't getting up and helping her and offering her a seat? And then I had to go back. Where is the motherfucker that nutted in her and gave her those damn kids? How come he's not helping her secure a vehicle so she can get back and forth to the grocery store to feed those children? What's going on to where you're in a shelter with your children and this nigga is laying up with some other bitch in her house? Remember that story back when it was cold outside? That lady and her kids was sleeping in the car, and two of the kids fucking froze to death. Now, if you fucking somebody and they can't even provide you a place to lay your damn head, then you don't need to be fucking. I know that I don't want to lay that on the mother. All of it's on the mother. It takes two to tango, but let's make a little bit smarter decisions with our vagina. If I'm going to sleep with you, I need to make sure that if a baby results in me sleeping with you, then we're going to be taken care of.
But you know what's so crazy? Because you got different type of woman. Like, you know, you know, with those women, like I applaud them for being able to get up and take the bus because that is not easy. But
It's
honestly, my
not.
children, it's been like my motivation. Like I'd be like, yo, with or without my kid's father, like I need to be able to push and provide, and you know, like I'm a single mom, 3 kids, and all 3 of my children got passports and flew out the country multiple times. Like, and I like I ain't collecting nobody's child support. My son's father, he sends me $50 a week, and that ain't freaking that ain't paying the rent. That's barely paying the light bill. Shit, $50 a week. So, but you know what? With me, I'm different. It's like, yo, I'm a Virgo. You know, I'm out here trying to get it by any means necessary. So for me, it's like, you know, even though I was one of those less fortunate people to have to be out here doing it by myself, I'm still fortunate enough to be able to do it by myself. And you know, like we're pretty well off, and my children, like you know, they live decent lives, and they, you know, they get to go on adventures and experience things that their fathers have not and probably would never experience. You know, and mommy makes it happen because I'm big mama. But yeah, you know, but I like it's yeah, but I see what you're saying. Like, girl, these men out here, like, and you know, honestly, that's why I'm at a point in my life where, you know, like I said, I have, you know, 3 children. I cannot I can't deal with the man for potential at this point in my life. Because a lot of the times we'll meet guys and we like them. At least we think that they like us as much as we like them. And it turns out all they trying to do is get their dingaling wet. and busting you, and then
Exactly.
give you a baby and then run off on their responsibilities and leave you to struggle. And a real woman is going to do whatever she got to do. You got a lot of women that just run to abortion clinics, and you'll never know, because at the end of the day, they realize the dude ain't got no money. They was probably going to be struggling. They ran to an abortion clinic. You have other women that sit there and they're like, you know what? I know I'm a struggle, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And that's the woman that's out there taking the bus. Then you got the mothers like me that's like, yo, I could struggle, but I ain't trying to struggle. So I'm literally working in myself, running myself into the ground, you know? But at the end of the day, I'm healthy. My children are healthy. You know, God has given us everything that we need. Allah has given us everything. You know, it's so crazy because I actually study both, you know, like Islam and Christianity, and I actually been fasting recently. So, with Brittany, I was actually rooting for her. I really want to know what she did. I wonder if she couldn't just come out her whole stage or what. Like, I don't know what went wrong with the two of them. Because I was really rooting for her. Because when you convert over, like, Islam is a really strict religion. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Yeah, but okay, so if Islam is a strict religion, not to say that he needs to change I don't know, does he need to change his life and the content of his music? You talking about putting
So
dick all in a
here's the
random bitch's
thing.
stomach, but
Okay, you know what's crazy? Because with Islam, I kind of couldn't get with it because, like, my great grandmother was Muslim, but it's a man's religion. So some of the times the men could kind of really do whatever they really, really want to. Like, yeah, but they're supposed to make sure they pray and fast and that they provide, like, it's certain rules and certain things that a man's supposed to do. But I know like a real Muslim, honestly, is they like he's supposed to really live a clean lifestyle. But it's certain things that the men you'll see them doing that the woman can never do. Even like with the woman, they make the woman cover their body because they say women are distractions. And they'll say a woman is a distraction before they'll say, like, oh, men are easily tricked and seduced because they're weak and like they're not as disciplined. You know, before they see it as that, they'll say, no, a woman needs to cover herself up because otherwise she's a distraction. Like, it's, you know, but with the way he lives his life, he's a man. That's all I could say. I feel like if he knows what's best for him, he's gonna change his life, you know? But what do you feel like he does? Like, is it the fact the stuff that he raps about?
huh?
What is it that you feel like he does wrong? Is it like what is it the stuff that he raps about? Like what is it that you feel like he needs to
I
change?
mean, if you're rapping about a certain lifestyle, you would think that you live that same lifestyle,
Well, did
but
you listen to his new album?
no.
No, based off of his most recent album, apparently he cleaned his life up. He's a Muslim. He does trucking. I'm just telling you what he's talking about in a few of his songs. You know, he's a Muslim now. He like, you know, he does trucking business. He got a construction business. He got like, you know, he's really just doing like, you know, legal activities and building up his businesses and his financial, like, you know. So what is it that you feel like he's doing wrong? He talks about sex a lot, but other than that,
Oh, okay, well, I don't listen to his music, so
yeah, but honestly, like if you listen to his new, I like honestly, I haven't listened to ever sat down and listened to an album until his album that he dropped this year, and it was before him and the Britney thing. Um, yeah, and I was like listening to it, and I was like, oh, like he don't really talk too crazy. He's very sexual though, honestly. But other than that, I don't really feel like he does anything wrong, at least from what I heard on his music and his songs. And I don't really watch him otherwise, you know. But that's I was wondering if you knew something I ain't know and why you keep saying, do I think if he's a Muslim, he needs to clean himself up or whatever? You know, it's so crazy. So Thursday, right? You listening?
yeah, I'm listening. I'm
So
listening.
basically, I had fasted for it was called, I don't want to mess it up, but you could probably Google it. But on Thursday, it was a day of it's like AFARTAR, something like that. But pretty much, if you fasted on that day based off of what Islam believe, you're supposed to do your fasting and your prayers. But your sins of 2 years is forgiven.
Okay.
Yes. So I fasted on that day, and basically they forgive your sins from last year and then your sins from the present year. And it's interesting because like I didn't know that. Like, have you actually researched what like the difference between Islam and like Christianity?
No.
Did you know that in Islam they believe Jesus was a prophet and they pretty much believe in Jesus as a miracle maker, like the same way how Christians do? Did you know that?
No.
Exactly. A lot of people don't understand that with Islam, once you start researching it, you're gonna be like, yo, Christianity is starting to seem like the knockoff for real, for real.
Well, which one came first?
That's the thing. And it's crazy because from what I understand, it was like supposed to be have been permission granted in the Bible to make Islam a religion. So I think they are both legit religions, but overall there's only one God. It's just that like with Muslims, the Quran is in Arabic, you know? So it's like this. It's like how, it's a Spanish person won't say, oh my gosh, they'll say adios mío. Like they're saying, oh my God. But in the, with a Muslim or a person that speaks Arabic, instead of God, they'll say like Allah, you know? But anywho, I think like since lately I've been researching and like I've been studying more so the Quran because I've spent a lot of time in the Bible. And then when I'm realizing like, wait, they both believe as Jesus as a prophet and that Jesus is supposed to come back, for judgment day, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read the Quran, like the stories are really similar to stories in the Bible. You gotta actually check it out, girl. You might want to change your whole thing because I'm like, and I'm annoyed because my great grandmother was Muslim, and even my mom at one point, she they was raised Muslim, but then they grew out of it or whatever, and then now here I am, and I'm like, yo, I've been misled. But
Haven't we?
I think you should research it. And what I like about Muslims is like, cause you know how they talk about how Jesus fasted, like in Islam, Ramadan is a big thing where you're supposed to fast and all of that. But Christians, you don't really hear about Christians fasting too much. They talk about Lent here and there, but fasting like is the closest way to God, you know?
Girl, I had something about. I think I was talking to you about it. The Lent, because I didn't know who was I talking to. Oh, I was at work and I was talking with my coworker, and the Lent. I don't know if it's a holiday or anything like that, but it had came around, and when my coworkers were talking about it, was two black guys, and they were talking about Lent, and Lord, please forgive me. I thought they were talking about, why are y'all talking about lint in your pocket? Like I thought they were talking about lint. Girl, they looked at me like, bitch, are you
Like you got
serious?
a lint brush,
Yeah. I was like, why y'all talking about
you
lint? Why y'all
lint
talking about
liquor.
lint? I was like, so yeah, I just didn't know. I just didn't know lint was a whole. It was a whole thing.
I
So
recently learned that, not recently, it's been a few years now, before a long time, I didn't know nothing about Lent. I was like, what the heck is this? Because honestly, I ain't grow up in no church, I ain't grow up in no mosque. Because I was always torn between all these different religions. Like, how's my great grandmother Muslim, my grandmother Christian, and then this person, they live a lifestyle of a Rasta like Bob Marley. And I'm just sitting here looking at all these different quote unquote religions. So yeah. Lent. I didn't know it was a thing until recently. You supposed to give something up or something like that, right?
girl, I don't know. I'm still thinking about dust.
I thought you grew up in the church, my
I
girl. Like,
did. I did. But now that I think, now the older I get, the more I realize not that I hated the religion, I just hated being in church because of the people. And that kind of clouded whatever I was supposed to learn because I was dealing with, because my mom wasn't there because she was disabled. So I feel like the adults and everybody else in church felt like they can treat me a certain way because my mom wasn't there. So that was like a big distraction as far as me listening to the word and stuff like that. Like I learned it for myself, but like just the environment of church, I hated it. Like I really did hate it.
You know, that's interesting. You know, I didn't know that you felt that way about church. And I'm glad that like my peoples didn't force me in no church either. Cause I think
Oh
that
yeah.
some people actually despise the church because of the fact that they was dragged into it, you know?
Exactly. And I just didn't feel like I belonged because, before I got there, obviously everybody else knew each other. And then I was there by myself, but my mom still made me go. And like I said, I felt like I was treated differently because my mom wasn't there. And a lot of the adults would say or treat me a certain type of way because my mom wasn't there and they thought they could because I was just by myself. So, yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's sad because and here your mom is thinking that she's doing a good thing for you, but she's making you miserable, but she's just doing what probably her parents made her do. You feel me?
no, her parents didn't make her do that neither because that's a whole
Oh,
nother
so where she
story.
got that from?
Um, you know how black folks feel like they need to be in church because it's church because we were conditioned to learn about that white Jesus.
But she didn't get it from her mom. The where did she pick it up from?
I mean, uh, just
Was your dad like that?
well, life in general. No, girl, he used to slam doors and fucking Jehovah's Witnesses faces. He didn't want to hear that shit. Mind you, his mother was a Jehovah's Witness. Speaking of which, his sister literally just passed away a few days ago. So my aunt's funeral is next Saturday.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
I gotta walk up in another church. Um,
So Jehovah's and that's the thing. He probably she probably forced that on him. Like, oh
no, I
no.
mean he wasn't really. I don't think he was religious. He just. My mom. Well, this before my mom was disabled. She would take us to church, but my dad wouldn't be in church. So my dad would be the heathen that would stay behind at home while everybody else went to church. That's how that was.
Mm.
But yeah. So I mean, when it comes to like church and religion, I'm not gonna put that on my children. I'm not gonna force that on my children. I feel like I would want to learn just so I can teach them different religions to where they would make the decision on their own. Do you want to go to church? Do you feel like you need to learn anything about God or this type of God or whatever or spirituality?
Right.
Let's go back to African spirituality. Do you feel like you need to learn about that? So I would definitely give my kids the option because I didn't have the option.
Mm.
I didn't have the option. And when I tell you, I don't know if it was the church that I hated or the people, because when I tell you those people treated me like shit, and those preachers' kids are no different. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people think because they go to church, they doing a good thing, but they really not good people. And
church
like
is just
and
high school with religion. You have to dress up and look your Sunday best, and people are judging you on how you dress. I remember we had a fucking Black History program, and I was supposed to be doing Oprah, like acting as Oprah. So when I got done with one skit and I went in the back and I was changing, one of the older ladies in the church, she was, like over all the children or whatever. So she saw me changing back into my regular clothes because I didn't have anything else to wear. And she was like, "Is that what you're wearing? Well, but do you have anything fucking else?" And that was the shit that I was talking about. Like, you say certain things or say certain things to a child, and you don't know how that makes a child feel. And
yeah.
then this is in church. So I think a lot of people, they need to, make themselves aware about what, how they talk to kids or what they're saying to kids, because especially other people's children. That's why I don't have any kids, because if anybody said or treated my kids a certain way and I felt a way about it, I'll just lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't, I can't deal with having kids right now because no, 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 you're not gonna hurt my children or treat my kids a certain way just because you feel like you can. And 'cause that's what happened to me. So no.
Wow.
Right.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, what was the last thing? Trump and his Elon Musk relationship
Yeah, yeah,
breakup.
yeah. Donald Trump and his bitch. Let me see if I can find anything. See if I can find anything. I don't really oh, okay. I hope we don't get copyrighted for
You
this.
know, it's so crazy because real quick. So with this whole Trump thing, it's so crazy because they were saying that apparently it was said that the election was rigged. And I'm pretty sure it was because honestly, the majority of people say they did not vote for him. The people, even the wealthy people that I get, my customers that call in, they be so upset that he was. I'm like, so who voted for dude? Look at everybody swear they didn't vote for dude. But yeah,
I know I damn sure didn't. I didn't want to vote in the first fucking place. But I did anyway. Oops. Let me go ahead and share this tab. Let me share this, and then while this is playing, I'm gonna go take a bathroom break. I have to pee again.
I saw this online. I had to get it. I was tired of throwing away hundreds of dollars in spoiled food every month. I had no easy way to
Good Sunday morning. Elon Musk's criticism of President Trump's tax and spending bill erupted into a bitter public fight this week, with Musk going so far as to agree with a call for President Trump's impeachment. Musk blasted the Republican spending bill as a, quote, disgusting abomination and urged GOP lawmakers to kill it.
I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here.
In a phone call on Saturday, President Trump told me that he has no desire to repair his ties with Musk, and asked if his relationship with Musk is over. He told me, quote, I would assume so. As Republicans race to pass the president's signature piece of legislation, the breakup between two of the world's most powerful men is highlighting divisions on Capitol Hill. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office analysis found the bill would add $2.4 trillion to the debt over the next decade. Fiscal hawks in the Senate worry about voting for a bill that will add more to the deficit.
I can't, in good conscience, give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that you can't accumulate more debt.
Failure is not an option. We will get this done one way or the other, and it's not going to be easy.
President Trump telling me he remains very confident that he can still get the bill passed before July 4th, and claimed the Republican Party is more unified now because of how Musk treated him. When I asked President Trump if he thinks Musk could sink the bill, he told me, I don't think he has the power to do it. Musk spent more than $250 million helping Trump return to the White House. Musk posting this week, without me, Trump would have lost the election. As for concerns that Musk might fund Democrats in the future, President Trump told me if he does, he'll have to pay the consequences. Meanwhile, on Friday, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who the Trump administration had mistakenly deported to El Salvador, was flown back to the United States to face charges of human smuggling.
Abrego Garcia has landed in the United States to face justice.
In April, the Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to facilitate his return. President Trump telling me he did not call the president of El Salvador to directly ask for Abrego Garcia's return. Asked if he brought him back to the U.S. because of the court's order, Mr. Trump said it wasn't his decision. It was handled by the Justice Department, and believes, quote, it should be a very easy case. Over the weekend, chaotic scenes played out on the streets of Los Angeles, where protesters clashed with authorities conducting workplace immigration raids. And overnight, President Trump ordering 2,000 National Guard troops to the city. California's Governor Gavin Newsom called the move unnecessary and said it will only escalate tensions. NBC's Jacob Soboroff spoke to the border czar, Tom Homan.
Okay, you back?
To get your response to Governor Newsom saying, essentially, your actions here are
martial law
provocative,
shit
and
to me.
the quote that he used was sowing chaos.
But Governor Newsom's an embarrassment for the state. That, you know, he's the one that's feeding this mantra. He supports sanctuary cities. He supports
But yeah, girl, that's basically the gist of, you know, the whole Elon Musk and Donald Trump shit. Him sending those troops to LA, I don't want to say like that's the start of martial law, but girl, remember when George Floyd died?
Mm-hmm.
And they sent all those people here to Charlotte because they were tearing up uptown.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're just using that. The protesters in LA, actually, it's protesters here in Charlotte too. I was leaving work because I work uptown. I was leaving work and it was protesters near a farmer's market. Hey, stop fighting! Girl, these damn cats been tearing each other up all weekend. But yeah. So yeah, I just saw protesters now a little bit more often than usual. Have you been seeing them?
Mm-mm. You know, I don't really go nowhere. I'll be home working, girl.
Yeah, girl.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I ain't really got that much about Trump and Elon because I don't understand them too. Like, I don't know. They stopped fucking. Somebody rejected somebody else. Oh, there they go. Oh, girl, they fighting. The girls are fighting. The girls are fighting.
The cats?
Yeah, the cats and Trump and Elon. So, girl, it was some clip where Elon, he was standing behind Donald Trump and he was doing his little press conference or whatever, and his eye was black. And it was like, damn, what happened to Elon?
Mm-mm. I don't know what to say about them too, but yeah.
Yeah, well, our government is a fucking shit show. I mean, there's nothing new about that. I don't know why this is news. The whole gist of it that I got is that Trump is not supporting whatever efforts that Elon wants him to support, like whatever funding that Elon needs so he can do whatever he wants to do. Because if he's not funding Elon's efforts, that has nothing to do with the American people. Not that Trump is for the American people, but I don't think he's for Elon either. He don't give a fuck about what Elon's trying to do. He needs money for his Tesla business or whatever the fuck, going off into space, landing on Mars or whatever the fuck. And you know, I guess he must have promised Elon some money and he's not following it through. Now he mad. Oh, you mad, bitch? You mad? Okay. And then he's releasing a whole bunch of confidential information talking about some Trump's name is on the Epstein list. So he mad, I guess he mad. I don't give a fuck about him being mad. But anyway, do you have anything else on any of the topics from tonight? Because that's it.
No, I'm about to go to bed.
Well, I'm a night owl. I'm gonna be up for the rest of the night. Hopefully I could do some hood Ubering. So get this gas money up.
I hear that.
All right. Well, until not next week, but the week after next.
Alrighty.
We should be live. Oh wait, I'll be in Maryland the week after next. I'll be in Maryland.
Okay.
Well, we could do Friday night if you don't forget.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
I could do next not next Friday night, but the Friday, Juneteenth. Juneteenth is on a Thursday and then that Friday. So yeah.
Okay.
All righty. Well, we will see y'all in a few weeks. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Whoever these two people are that are watching right now, like, comment, and subscribe, please. Because I can see y'all watching. I just don't know who you are. Oh, now it's one person. Okay.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you in advance. And thank you so much for tuning in.
All right. And we will see y'all in a few weeks.
Bye.
Y'all be blessed. Stay black. I'm going to lay off the police this week. I don't want nobody to go back on this and like, why you hate the police? Like, nigga, why not? Anyway.
Just the crooked ones, not the good ones. We love the good ones. Charlotte has some pretty good police officers, by the way.
And they all right.
Yeah.
They all right. I'm going to give them an eye. All right. We will see y'all in a couple of weeks. Good night.
Bye, y'all.
If there's a question of my heart, you've got it. It don't belong to anyone but you. If there's a question of my love, you got it. Baby, I've been making plans for you. Baby, I've been making plans for love. Oh, baby, I've been making plans for you lately, 'cause I've been making plans for love. Oh, baby, I've been making plans for you. If there's a question in my heart, you got it. It don't belong to anyone else.